Tonight, I will be showing you my character, Savina, and 19 different hairstyles that I experimented with as I continue to develop her character. My name is Everest. I am an illustrator, writer, and this is Story Comment. I've always been curious about process. You know, how many thumbnails does it take for someone to complete their finished picture? How many different character design iterations did my favorite character go through before they became who they were? So while I'm no professional character designer, here is a picture of Savina. She is looking okay. I have a few different goals with a change in hair. So here's a couple things about Savina that I want you to know before I go into experimenting with hairstyles. So she's been gone for a while. She's back in town. She's charismatic. And whenever I say charismatic, what I mean by that is think like Sherlock Holmes. Thoughtless, but also intelligent. A perceiver, but also breezy. But really, most importantly, what adds to kind of her natural gravitation to people is how driven she is. And, you know, without telling you more about Project Delta, which is not the real name, it's just kind of my secret name. She has this goal, like she has come back to her town of origin for a reason. And even if people can't sense what that reason is initially, she does have this fiery, strong sense of mission. My goals are to make her less clean. And by that, I don't mean make her look like she hasn't showered in 5 days. I mean put together appearance. Like in this image. Oh, this is a haircut you have to maintain once every few months to keep it looking fresh. Like, Savina isn't that kind of person. So, like, none of those things matter to her. This is my personal philosophy. All character design is interesting and good, but it doesn't always communicate what you're trying to convey. So, I feel that this image isn't telling me anything. But for today, it's really just all about hair. And I am going to be playing a bit with facial features as well. All right, now we're on to number 1. I created my skeleton so that I wasn't constantly having to reframe this face over and over again. Starting off with my first design, I wanted to do something with curves and softened features. I'm even tightening her jaw a little bit from the original framework. I wanted to capture this sort of cherubic nature and gave her kind of these thick, beautiful curls. Again, how she would have the time or the attention span for such a routine is not my problem right now, but I did give her kind of these long bang pieces, and I liked that portion, but quickly moved on to number 2. What's easier than doing opposites? More angular features on this one. Long, straight hair that's parted to one side. And as I was drawing this, I was thinking about, okay, how would this character be kind of like, they don't actually have a set hairline. They'll move it from one side to the other. In number 3, I felt like she was kind of presenting as like disgruntled grad student. I wanted her expression to be exhausted, clever, and a little bit frustrated. So that's not, again, the point of today, but I did take the opportunity to play with that every time that I constructed a new face. I liked the look of these bangs so much that I wanted to play with them. Number 4, as I went for longer hair, I took that pin of her hair kind of back on itself and tried to do like a braid crown. as she has this exposed ear, I thought it might be interesting to also have it reveal an injury that she received during her time away, and be kind of this clean look, but also this presentation to her hometown of like, I am different, things are different. In number 5, I start with a downturned eye just to kind of cleanse the palette of the last few hairstyles, and she ends up with this side ponytail. Give her this swooping side part. I wasn't super in love. Maybe I just have heard too much of the stereotype of the loving, kind mother with the side ponytail, kind of like Full Metal Alchemist, and wanted to try something totally different for number 6. In this one, I do a middle part, bringing some symmetry to her face that I hadn't quite tried yet, and doing braids and short jaw-length hair for her. It seems like a pretty easy style to maintain, and this looks straight out of one of those Pinterest, 10 easy hairstyles for work videos. There was something very balanced and even about this that didn't feel right for me as well. For number 7, I'm again seeing if the braids from the top of the head down as a crown could look good. Working with the middle part, but this time I'm breaking up that symmetry, making that feel a little bit more lived in than number 6 did. I felt like I had kind of fallen into a rut with my face shapes just because I thought that it was perfect for Savina, but to kind of break out of that mold, I started with adding a lot more exhaustion to number 8. Trying to incorporate that C-shaped curl right in the middle of her hair, kind of like I had in number 3 and 4, but it coming very differently, kind of swallowing up her eyes a little bit, and this like braid bun. This was my favorite hairstyle that I had done up until that point. I loved the braided bun, which indicated kind of intricacy, but then it almost moved beyond being lived in to this place where it's like, oh my gosh, have you been up all night? Oh wow, this person has seen war and plague. And I loved number 8. This had been the best I'd felt about a hairstyle so far. But you always want to keep going beyond that point, because who knows, maybe you'll find something that you like even more. So for number 9, it's the bangs, it's the curls encroaching on her space, but I'm just going with different shapes where it's not just that it's coming close to her eyes, it's that you almost at times can't even see her eyes. She received this kind of bump it tousle to her hair. I wanted to see that fringe in another light, and so number 10, I tried like short hair. In my head I was thinking, well, maybe at some point she like shaved her head and then allowed it to grow out naturally. The end result for number 10 was just like so magnificent and bouncy, and for number 11 I wanted to try something different. In this one, I gave Savina upturned eyes. I was really drawn to this look of Savina. I think, to be honest, it's because I used to be friends with someone that looked a lot like this version of Savina. So it was kind of weird accidentally drawing someone that you've known before. For number 12, I decided to try dreadlocks as well. In this instance, I wanted to use the kind of front pieces to hide portions of her eyes. And I liked the kind of vertical that it gave her face, as though, your view of her is kind of narrowing on both sides. What I'm realizing with every set of hairstyles is that I just can't let go of having some sort of fringe covering Savina's hair, face. I think I like this idea that part of her was trying to hide from the world. And then for number 13, doing this really like almost anime inspired. I think I had looked at some art of Komaida from Danganronpa 2, and well, like the fringe piece in the middle is definitely an homage to him. And now you all know, yes, as a teenager, I did actually like that video game series. I know there's a lot of things that are problematic about it, but part of my love of mysteries did come from that franchise. And then for 14, I illustrate kind of this finger wave style. Both of these felt somewhat far away from how I wanted Savina to present herself if I were to just simply look at them and give them a name and a story. These would be wildly different, I think, than the details that I know for Savina, both ones that I told you and ones that I haven't. So 14 hairstyles later, let's compile everything together and kind of see what we're working with. What I love is the bangs in 3 and 4, as well as in 5 and 6, are really captivating. Like, I like how they look, but even that feels almost a little too put together for this character. So I have this idea, and what I do is I throw on a random number generator. We're going to use that to select pairs and try to mash them together. So these are all random, I promise. And there's really no way for me to prove it to you, but why would I fake that? This isn't Mr. Beast. There are no stakes. So the first one gets these kind of sleepy, innocent yet tortured looking eyes. A finger curled side part, but one that kind of falls in front of the face. This somewhat pronounced forehead with a a bedraggled updo. Pair it with a set of thin lips, and this is what I have for number 1. But really, we know that this is actually number 15. Number 2, I take delicate downturned eyes with a middle part of the braid, but I'm creating this full twin ponytail look, some fringe. Now, this is not Savina's look, but I want to know what her story is. I mean, who is she? Like a young royalty member trying to figure out whether her father's army should invade. For number 17, we keep the intense upturned eyes and the kind of pinched face. And really the big change on this one is the fringe. She has maintained that dark gradient, but I gave her essentially a wolf cut. This was kind of a fun, almost feral werewolf look to me. And then number 18, the last one before our final, we are combining two very similar images. So just for fun, I decided to add in a few improbable braids right at her hair's parting line and give her more of a gaunt look. But after looking everything over, considering all of what I had done, the good, the bad, the ugly, I thought my favorite of all of them was still the 8th one. I still loved that one. Really, what had settled in my mind throughout all the iterations was that I wanted this fringe piece to act as a supporting role to all of Savina's emotions. That it could shield her whenever she wants shielding. It could be pushed aside whenever she wants clarity. And it could be a style that was just as vast and expressive as she is. Here you see, for example, an instance of Savina pushing back her hair so that it is stuck behind her ear. I show someone that is in many ways overgrown and someone who is forgetful, who constantly has the stray hairs flying around. But that's part of her, well, charm. Please tell me which one of these styles was your personal favorite, or if you have any recommendations or requests of what you'd like to see from me. As we leave things today, I just want to say thank you so much for watching. I'm so glad that you stuck around and saw the rest of this video. If you're interested in seeing more content like this, I have a couple other videos up on my channel as well, and intend to create more as time allows. It's hard for me to get to art in between the jobs that I have and the life commitments that I have, but it's always an amazing opportunity. Not 100% settled on hair color, skin tone, but thanks so much and have a great evening.